Last time I got an ending, but it's not the true ending. So this time I'm in front of the pink sword statue. What a strange thing. I think it's supposed to prevent you from sequence breaking if you haven't beaten death, but somehow made your way up here. But I suppose that's not really relevant for me. Anyway, as outlined in the ancient books, I have 3 specific souls equipped. The first 2, easy enough. Demon from Hellfire, so you just use the Flame Demon Soul. King of the Bats, use the Giant Bat Soul. The third one, a little bit more questionable. Beautiful Nightmare made me think that it was probably the Nightmare Soul, but looking at the little image on the book and knowing about like nightmares, demons that say attack you at night, and also I referenced earlier, there was a dream sequence in Symphony of the Night where Alucard saw his mother, who was in reality a succubus or a Lilith. I don't remember which one. His mother is not actually a Lilith. She was being impersonated by that in that game, as I got corrected in the comments. Well, anyway, the third soul is succubus. So yeah. And you might notice that each one of these souls sure does seem to be very Dracula-related. I mean, the 3 classic fireballs, Graham used that, Dracula uses that in pretty much every single entry in the entire series. The ability to turn into a bat, and of course, lastly, lifesteal. Absorbing enemies' HP, blood, vitality. Yeah, so I wonder if that's going to be relevant in any way. Hey, Graham. It's me again. Now, we've already done this shtick before. And really, it's like, although I do have some pretty powerful souls at this point, what's even more powerful than that? The Muramasa. This is a very good ability. Yeah, you can see his fireball attack literally the exact same as mine. So you do need there are maybe like other places that I could be using these souls, but I think it seems pretty obvious, especially with the way that there is just straight up a door on the left side here, that this is where you're going to want to do it. Also, didn't even mention it last time, check out those bloody tears in the background. Like the famous song from other Castlevania. I don't even care, I've done so much soul grinding at this point, including actually getting the Legion Soul. That's right. The way you get this thing is that you're supposed to break off each 4 parts of the shell around the core of it, and then you get the soul. Otherwise, you can't get that soul in that playthrough of the game. Well, thankfully, I do use save states to make sure that I can roll back save files when I need to, so I went back and got that, but that did kind of invalidate a lot of the soul grinding I did, which is frustrating. I mean, if you're not, you did a pretty valiant job. I was pretty impressed with the amount of Draculosity that Graham was putting out there, but wasn't to be. Gasp. Who could have seen this coming? Who could have possibly seen this sort of revelation coming? So, yeah, there's your twist. The reason that Soma came here was that, somehow was sucked into the eclipse at this time was because he is Dracula. He is the true reincarnation of Dracula. Why was Mina here? I honestly couldn't tell you. Hammer also got in here too, and as far as I know, he's not Dracula. Like Julius, sure. Genya and Yoko were obviously looking. They probably didn't even come here by accident. They probably did some sort of ritual or whatever to get in here. Like, yeah, Mina and Hammer, I have no idea. Somebody said in the comments that Mina was supposed to be a reincarnation of Dracula's wife, which now I know about the Dracula book, and let me tell you, the relationship between Mina Harker and Dracula was not a good one. So the idea that Mina in the Castlevania series, Mina Harker would be Dracula's wife is an interesting interpretation. Dracula preys on women, just making that absolutely clear. And, you know, between, like, Dracula's brides, Lucy, and, of course, eventually Mina, it's like, it was... Well, anyway, I don't remember if that ever actually appears in this game. I certainly don't remember it doing, so I thought I'd bring it up right now. So, yes. Soma's getting extra evil, got some red irises, and is now going to be attacking the castle at its very core as I'm able to continue on with the game and get... Yeah, Black Panther, sure. From what I remember, this is one of the better souls you can possibly get. Yeah, it literally allows you to dash around. And Dracula's proper tunic, which I'm sure you can probably guess. Getting Nosferatu's outfit? Nah, forget about that. We're getting the D-Man himself. Let's go. All right, so the obvious place that I gotta go next is that forbidden area. Though I don't... Well, actually, even before that, there's still the place in the Upper Gardens that I believe I wasn't able to get into before. I didn't even show that on screen, but now I gotta make a return to. And then I think it's gonna let me into the forbidden area, wherever that may or may not be. It's called the forbidden area. Certainly, that's gotta be where the good stuff is. That's gotta be where they're keeping the good stuff. All right. And you can see that Soma even has a completely different portrait in the pause screen as well. It's pretty nice. I should probably go back and like talk to Mina and Hammer and everybody and see if they got anything different to say, but also at the same time, instead of that, let's just first off equip up Peeping Eye, because that's still MVP, let me tell you. And get down into... Well, get up into the gardens. Okay, up in the gardens now. Basically, the easiest way to do this is to understand that they're just... the way that the individual parts you go through of the floating garden are completely disconnected from each other. And that means that if you kind of go back and forth through them, you end up in different areas. So, yep. By going backwards from the end of it, I'm able to get down here. And there's the kicker skeleton that I was talking about a little bit earlier. Common Rider reference with the red scarf. You can even get that as an equipable item from him. It's pretty fun, but like I said, it's a situational ability at best. Well, anyway, the real thing was that before there was like a gigantic wall of darkness that prevented me from going in here. But now, being equally edgelordy myself, I'm able to, I don't know, match its frequency and get in here? Whatever. No, it's a boss fight, of course. Yeah, no, it's cool, though. I'm here to go destroy the source of the castle's power and Dracula himself right now. And, no, you're gonna fight me, aren't you? All right. From what I remember, this is actually, like, a legitimately pretty tough fight. Julius is fast and pretty difficult to dodge, so I'm gonna definitely have to be pretty cautious. He also seems to have a pretty sizable amount of invincibility frames here, too. Now, I gotta say, again, been like over 10 years since I played this game last, but it's like I'm not gonna take this one lightly, to say the least. I also think this is one of the few enemies in the game that are actually considered like light element rather than dark. I mean, usually, you know, fighting a bunch of weird monsters as you do, it's like most stuff is weak to any sort of holy element. Whereas, of course, Julius being wielding the vampire killer, which, by the way, I guess he just got off screen. Sure, why not? And also being he who kills vampires, of course, is quite holy by himself. Yeah, might as well. Actually does a sizable amount of damage. Oh boy. He's using Grand Cross, baby. That's like the super ability that you get in, well, in a bunch of the old Castlevania games. It's not really like the most usable one, but it certainly is very large and in charge. Now he's also got like classic Castlevania weapons. There's holy water. There's like the cross boomerang. I saw him like throwing an axe around too. It's a cool fight. I'm a big fan of this one. Here, let's throw on a high potion. Let's throw on a high mind up. Make absolutely sure. The whip is quite good, of course, but he even has like the backdash too, which is pretty fantastic. Oh, was that really it? Huh. Oh man, I probably didn't even need to use the potion charge then. I was doing... you know, don't underestimate the power of the Red Minotaur soul, I suppose. Yeah, man, you could have just continuously spammed like one of the other super arts you had with like, say, the holy water. That just attacks the entire screen. Then you can kill me. No, that should result in a bad ending, but it doesn't. Here we are in a completely different area. Entirely separate from the castle as it exists. And of course, there is still also the forbidden area that I gotta get into, but yeah, I'll figure it out. The Chaotic Realm. Kind of your standard, anyway, you had to take a call there, but yes, this area is kind of your best of type of wacky world type of thing. In other words, as I'm going around here, you'll see a bunch of different assets that have existed in other parts of the game, except with a new filter over them. And the occasional areas that just kind of lead out into the void. To be honest, I am a little bit conflicted whenever it comes to seeing this sort of thing. I like the concept, but it also does sort of feel like, hey, you're just reusing a lot of the same sort of things that I've already seen in the game. There's stuff like the, what this? There we go. There's stuff like the void area in Binding of Isaac that always comes to mind, where it's just like, well, it's not terrible, but it sort of feels like I would rather just have had a completely new area. That said, this is where I'm going to be getting the remaining few souls that I have left to do. I mean, it's only like, I have like 96% of the souls that exist in the game, so it ain't going to be too much, but I mean, even like all these ones here I already have. There's an awful lot of them that exist in the game, and I've been pretty diligent about grinding them out. Including the weird ones, like Legion, for example. I can't believe that they have like a missable type of soul in this game. I mean, 2003, I suppose that was still something that was seen as acceptable. There's no way it was seen as acceptable, but hey, that's what happened. But, yeah, well, whatever. There is New Game Plus and everything, too, but there is also save states, so I don't even have to worry about that. Also, the music, while kind of appropriately weird, does get old a little bit fast. So I gotta say, that just like, I like a lot of stuff about this end game. There's also a lot of stuff that's like, there's a giant skeleton, which, hey, it's nice to have an easy place to farm out the soul. Oh wait, I already have it. Appearing in what appears to be the Headhunter's room, which is interesting. Get out of here, you. Like I said, not that it really matters, though. I think this is where I fought. Yeah, this was the area right before death. And hey, there's Alistor, one of the new enemies I'm going to be fighting. Basically just the Nemesis, except, larger? Bigger sword does not necessarily mean better sword, after all. The Aria, I do not know how to pronounce it. The Valkyrie recolor, on the other hand, is just kind of annoying to deal with. So yeah, this is what the innermost part of Dracula's castle looks like. The part where he stores all of the power that he's amassed. How exactly does that work? I'm not entirely sure. I do like that the save point is the same as the part of the castle that it appeared in. That's nice. Also, it's the one place that isn't completely, like, grayscale? Strange. Well, I'll have to go grind up. I mean, I'm still planning to get, like, all of the souls in the game. I mean, the fact that I went back to get the one for Legion should kind of speak to that. Yep, literally just in the void. I told you, like, the reverse castle back in Symphony of the Night basically set a precedent for all of the future Castlevania games. They're going to have, like, some sort of super ending, which not a bad thing necessarily. I like this idea of getting a little, squeezing a little bit of extra content out of the game. So it's like, I am happy to see it here, needless to say. Alright, and this is... You never get any sort of proper ability to swim through water, so I hope I don't have to equip up that here. And I totally do. Ah, dang. Well, it's not like Peeping Eye has been too useful, but you never know when it's going to be useful, and when it's not. Also, yeah, Dracula's the only one that can get back here, but I suppose, like I said, Dracula controls all of the creatures within his castle, so that does mean that the guys that are here are technically also a part of Dracula. It's like these fish heads, they're like his fingers or something, I guess. This skeleton, also like his fingers. Just part of a greater entity. Or at least that's how I justify it. Oh, come on. Now, if there's a place where I'm not going to get fooled by that, it's here. Well, maybe it's like a new type of enemy. What do you got? Nope. Same old succubus. Same old heart pendant. This is the place where I farmed out... Well, originally the place that led to was the one where I farmed out the Red Minotaur soul, but I suppose not now. Now it just holds but a single super potion and one perhaps outrageously tough guard to guard it. Also another good, well, actually, no. I was going to say that it's just like I think they made it so that each one of the gears in the background have now stopped, including the ones that you can stand on, but clearly the one in the middle of the room here is still moving. Oh, I'm underwater. There's another Alistair. Yeah, whatever. You know what I can do? Somehow miss each one of those hits. That's what I can do. I know, very impressive. I didn't think I could do it myself, nor did I want to. Ooh. The even more final guard of final guards. Well, I said last time that the Killer Mantle, that's what it was called, was really only useful for one type of fight, against the Iron Golem, but it's like it actually does do pretty good damage here, all things considered. Same thing with the final guards as well, so I guess it's not that bad. Thinking about it right now, though, it might just be that I walk over here and there's another save point. This would be... not quite, but... there's another example of that, I suppose. I just use the tasty meat, sure. Not like I'm going to be getting a whole lot of usage out of that in the final fight. If I can just use, like, all my super and high potions and everything. As opposed to, like, 74 damage, clearly. It's impossible to... That's the whole thing with Killer Mantle. It's impossible to tell if an enemy actually has a mana to switch around with their health, period. But whatever. It seems to also, like, do good damage regardless. Though again, it's like maybe I should just switch out something from the Muramasa into something a little bit different. Oh yeah, no, that instead the Demon Lord has 10,000 health, I think. There's another Alistair. Oh, right, I forgot. I was trying to use my Killer Mantle there, even though what I meant to do was use something that wasn't that. Oh, come on now. I'll use my super potions. I mean, I suppose there are also other things that I can equip up here too, like the Alorune. For this. Look at it. Look at it go. Just gonna walk out here for a second. Hey, yep. Okay. You know, I'll just deal with this guy a little bit later. It seems that will be again something that I knew it. Is that a unique background too? I don't know if I've seen that anywhere else. Neat. Probably actually getting like close to the end of this. I don't remember this being a very long section, and it's like you need to do, oh yeah, right there. And there you go. So, now, of course I could go in there, but the first thing I'm going to do is actually go and check out that other area that I didn't see before, and also grind up the rest of the souls, of course, because that is a very important part of finishing up the game, at least for the playthrough that I'm doing. Before I get to the mysterious waterfall entrance, there was one thing that I want to show off. After getting the Chrono Mage soul, the mysterious object that you would occasionally see flying... Nah, not this time. You occasionally see flying above me in some of the underground cavern sections can actually be fought now. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, couldn't quite get it. But I mean, all I gotta do is about right here. Yeah, it's totally random if it spawns or not, but you can't do anything unless you have the Chrono Mage soul. It just goes too fast otherwise. The Skyfish. That thing is a nightmare to try and fight, especially because it doesn't have a guaranteed drop for its soul, and it doesn't always appear. So, yeah, I think it was at least worth showing off once, but man, I hated farming up that one. Well, in the meantime, I think all I need to do is just continue to really get a lot of usage out of my my Black Panther soul. Man, this thing is great. It's too bad they only give it to you way at the end of the game. Of course, there are like the various transformation abilities and everything that can do effectively the same thing, but not nearly as quick and not nearly for as little mana. Still have the annoying knockback problems, although, thinking of some of the other souls that I've gotten, the Iron Golem one basically gives you super armor, right? Not bad. Okay, that said. Alright. That's one way to do it. However, what if I were to equip up the Undying Soul? No. Okay, well, somebody in the comment section also did just say use one of the transformation abilities and instead kind of force your way through with that. So let's go with Manticore. No, maybe I gotta build up more speed. Yeah, it worked. All right, well, I suppose that's how you do it. Guaranteed to last forever. Not quite as good as Dracula's Tunic, although it does beat it in defense. Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's instead take Black Panther and finally go explore this other area that I have yet to even like do anything in. I got a little bit of a preview with it going for the first of the ancient books, but aside from that, I don't remember this place at all. Obviously, I didn't even remember how to get in here, so it should be fun. Oh, maybe... You know, I should probably keeping an eye on. I was thinking about maybe going for Black Panther plus the Iron Golem again, but nah. Oh, and I do believe that is the final enemy I have to get now. I have to get the soul from. Yeah, Mudman. Because I noticed that it's like when I had gotten all the other souls, there was only one enemy that I was missing in the entirety of the enemy data. So that will be 100% after I get it from that dude. Go find a good area to actually go and... Yeah, fine, whatever. Well, here. There. That's how you take them out. Yeah, find a good place to farm this up. And here, I'll give you the full farming experience. That's right. This is what it's like, baby. Rinse and repeat. For how long? I don't know. However long it's going to take. Also, let's actually talk. You know, while I'm like I said, giving you the full farming experience, let's talk a little bit about Aria of Sorrow. So this game, yeah, it's certainly very fun. I think a lot of the grinding, though, is perhaps not the best. One of the things that Hammer does sell is a Soul Eater ring, but it's 300,000 gold. Even after all of the grinding I've done, I barely even broken 60k. And I could probably get a little bit more if, say, I went and I don't know, like used some of the luck abilities I had to get like some more items, sell all of the items that I've gathered during my soul collection and everything. But really, it's like, I don't even know how much it works. How much it actually ups your chances of getting souls. So that's one of those things, like, do I really want to like spend time grinding out gold instead of just fighting enemies? That's actually true for even the luck stat. I also had somebody say in the last episode, hey, don't actually bother using luck. It takes so long to, well, it takes so much luck to make any sort of impactful difference on your grinding that it doesn't matter if you're equipping up the rare ring or like the gremlin soul, which gives you +8 to luck. You might as well just not even worry about that. So that is unfortunate. I would like a little bit more transparency with some of the stats in this game, which I do think that ultimately coming up to like Bloodstained, it did it a lot better. I mean, overall, the grinding and everything was better in that game. This did come out in 2003 versus that which came out in 2018, 2019, so I suppose that's just to be expected. Aside from that, I do think that, it still is a little bit clunky. I do know that somebody was telling me, hey, you really got to be like, you can like cancel out attack animations by jumping, which can really up the amount of damage you're getting out of weaponry, but that's one of those like, oh man, I'm not going to learn like super advanced tactics for this game in particular. It's not even all that long, ultimately. But yeah, it's like, there's a lot of good stuff still to be had here. Everything looks great, the music's still fantastic in that classic Castlevania type of style. Even Soma, like look at all the individual frames of animation on each one of his attacks. Even though you do get the kind of like a hokey, like a Terraria style swinging animation for a lot of the weapons, I still think it's all pretty great. I mean, I fell in love with this series when I played Dawn of Sorrow all the way back in the day, and I'm still having a real blast with it even now. Even in, 2020, 17 years after this game's release. Although I think ultimately it took until 2011 for me to play it, so... Or at least that's what all my save states said. And like I said, I like to make a save state alongside a physical save file, just in case. You never know when you're going to want to roll that thing back, say Legion not dropping stuff. So, overall it's been a nice fun experience in old-school Castlevania-ing. Needless to say, a lot of the games that I've played that have been inspired by this have been much better about how they do stuff. So it's like that is definitely it's the Shovel Knight concept, wherein what they did was they tried to recreate a game from the NES era as you remember it, not as it actually existed. Because I think it should go without saying that a lot of games from the NES era are rough. This one most definitely included. Modern gameplay techniques have come a long way since 2003, I think is the best way to put it. I can't believe I haven't gotten the Soul yet, by the way. It's literally the last one. I was just going to do this as kind of like a special, and I was hoping that I wouldn't have to vamp for this much time. Get it, vamp, because it's Castlevania? But, well, that's what's happening. What can you say? Oh, Mudman, please give up your soul already. You're so amorphous, you think you would just, write Aria. Yeah, that's right, I actually did that Foley effect myself. Live, on screen. I'm pretty proud of it. But, man. Alright, I'm gonna give it like 3 more goes, and if I don't get the soul by this point, I'm just gonna go off screen and grind it. This is like how it went for the rest of the game. Like the Alistair soul, the previous soul that I got here. Man. Also took that long too, so I guess I can't say it's entirely unexpected. Hey, there's Yalurune, who did also appear back in, the area where I fought Legion. But that was only after I went through it the first time. It was kind of weird that it did it like that, but hey, well, what are you gonna do? I guess that's supposed to be like the final form of the Une, eventually turning into a sexy lady, as one does. Oh yeah, you can actually see that the boat is slowly moving around here. A 100% entirely optional area, but I'm glad they included it in the game anyway. It's pretty fun. No, not Undyne. I want the Skula. Much better. Still some good stuff you get down here, but it is also required for 100% completion too. What do you get for 100% completion? Well, I would have loved to have shown you fighting the Mudman, but yeah. Anyway, there is like a... Yeah, I guess I should probably go back and see that one other area, too, before I get a little bit too deep into the cove of Dracula. Dracula's got caverns, he's got coves. It goes right out to the ocean, baby. Lure Une actually does have a pretty impressive amount of attacks and everything. But at the point that I'm actually fighting her, it doesn't matter. Like all of that sort of stuff. She could have easily been a mini boss by herself, but obviously not so much. Enemy that just appears in, as far as I can tell, 2 locations. Oh, yep. And this would be the easier exit into the study that I had seen before, with where. Yeah, so it's like you can't even get past that door. You do need to go from the other side, as I kind of expected. And a very interesting way to have to enter there, too, using one of the transformation abilities and how you can really zoom through levels to do that. Kind of ridiculous, but, I mean, I guess take it up with Igarashi. I'm sure he definitely remembers everything he was thinking when he designed this game back in 2003. Another flame demon, not really too relevant anymore. A big old chest full of jewels. I guess especially if I was going to... This game, man. I guess especially if I was going to be farming up gold, this would be the place to do it, right? But not too relevant anymore. Well, anyway, that's 100% completion. What do you actually get for it? Well, I do have to go back to the Chaos Zone for that to actually do anything. But hey, I mean, having this right now means that I don't have to do any more farming off screen, which is good. Knew it. So this is the room that one area in the Chaos was patterned after. I guess it's supposed to be like a pirate treasure hoard. And if I remember this, I think this is a weapon that increases in power based on how much gold you have. If it hits multiple times like the Muramasa, that'll be something to keep. And also, is that 99.7? I'm betting it's something that I need Peeping Eye for. Oh, maybe I can find that somewhere around here. Because I don't know where else to look. Mimic. And like literally it doesn't do anything after you break it out of that whole deal. Come on. Peeping Eye. Like, give me my final... Right. Peeping Eye, give me my final, like, last area that I need to find around here. You do get a good amount of money for this. And I'm betting, like I said, the gold ring probably does affect that, too. Using, like, the Black Panther soul, you can probably get through there pretty easily. But, I mean, I suppose aside from that, I'm going to meet you back in the Chaos Zone, and that's going to be the end of the game. Then we'll just go on. I mean, I suppose there is a little bit more stuff to the game, but as far as, like, major content goes, that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Oh, wait, hold up. I thought it was going to be somewhere down here. Oh, there it is, baby. The ultimate weapon. The best. Everyone's favorite. And I do believe 99.8. Still not quite 100%. But, hey, that's, you know what, close enough. Everyone's favorite sword. All right, now I really will meet you back in the Chaos area now. All right, back into the Chaos realm. And With everything completed, all the souls, all the enemies, everything like that, all I need to do is just go out to one of the, like, side areas and nothing. What? That should have done something. Maybe if I kind of continue on a little bit more. Because, nothing, eh? Do I actually have to beat the boss to make this happen? That might, in fact, be the thing. Well, I guess we're gonna go to the boss. All right, time to face the source of the castle. The source of Dracula's powers, and the way that he continued to resurrect, even after he was already dead, in the case of this game, however that worked. And so, through the power of friendship, I will now be able to defeat Dracula for... This game is weird. Also, look at that great design, too. I love it. So this is Chaos. I guess this is Dracula. Or at least what you could more accurately call the thing empowering Dracula as it exists. And yes, it did just steal all of my souls. So that's kind of an issue. Or at least would be if I didn't have the incredible ability and, you know, grinding powers that I've used now. I mean, the thing is, the souls do belong to the castle, so it does make sense that it would be able to take them away. But that's not the end of it. Oh, no, no, no. I get this weird thing. So it's interesting to think that it's like, this is Dracula, apparently. But I mean, it also has that it has the same sort of look as like what like Graham kind of turned into. So I suppose it's not entirely unsurprising. Ultimately looking like the Eclipse itself, which is pretty cool. But hey, with the incredible powers that I got here, did not really stand too much of a chance. Wait, you didn't know that? Like, you would have thought Arcado. Genya would have told you about it. Oh, so here's the thing. I just like straight up defeated and like presumably destroyed the core of Dracula. So Dracula and like everything with the Belmonts and all the characters here should never have to do anything related to Dracula again. That should be like the final ending. Literally, you had Dracula, Soma in this case, go in and destroy that what is Dracula. But as Genya says right here, there are people who are still obsessed with the idea that God has to be entirely dependent on the devil. Yeah, that's right. Who do you think was the true power in this universe? To remain absolutely good. And that's kind of what led into Dawn of Sorrow, the sequel of this game, wherein it's like, we should be done. We should be absolutely done. This should be like the final part of Castlevania, 100%. But the thing is, it's like, nah, we're leaving it open for a sequel, and then they did, and it's just like, come on, I don't know. This is what I was talking about, where it's like, they did not need a sequel to this game. This should have been the conclusive ending for it. And in fact, subsequent games after Dawn of Sorrow did not touch this at all. They just went with, somebody, before the War of 1999, somebody came back and resurrected Dracula again. The same thing that had happened for like a dozen games up to that point. I don't know. That's one of the major exceptions that I got with the whole storyline as it exists and everything. This really should have been the final bit. Nothing else. Nothing else after this point. But, if somebody else wanted to become Dracula, that would be something. If somebody else, wanted to create their own evil powers, that's a different thing. But the idea that it's just like, nope, it's got to be Dracula. We got to go tempt Soma back because, we got to have a god as good as possible. And for some reason, Dracula is the Satan of this universe. Whatever. Look, we win. We get the classic stage 1 of the original Castlevania remix going on in the background. It's good. Thumbnail for the episode. Yeah, the old Soma wouldn't have been such a jabroni. Alright, so that is the end of Aria of Sorrow, at least as it exists. At least as the main plot line exists. There is still your requisite secondary character. You do get to play through as Julius if you type in Julius as your player name when you're creating a new save file, and he is something, I'll say that. He is so powerful that you legitimately feel like you're speedrunning the game, even though he's a character that does exist for you to play as. And there's also stuff like boss rush mode, where I know that can unlock a couple extra items. I think you can even get like a rocket launcher doing that too, which is fun, but these are all things that are basically just playing through the game as normal. Julius doesn't even get to fight Chaos at the end. He just fights Graham, and that's the end. But there is one more thing I want to do, and that is go through each one of the souls and give them a proper rating and a proper little show-off, too. So, as soon as the credits end here, I'll be switching right to that, and we'll go through Doc Firebird ranks all of the souls in Aria of Sorrow, which will be the dumb meme content I know everybody's been looking forward to. Oh, do this with Dead Cells? Absolutely not. Do this with Castlevania? Aria of Sorrow? Yes. Hammer never used that weapon in the game. I don't think he ever fought anything. And in fact, his revelation at the end there was that he didn't want to fight anybody. Well, whatever. All right, maybe I can also see the true final. Yeah, there's your clear data if you want to use it. Maybe I can also see the true final ability that you get in the end of the game here too, because there was supposed to be something that you get for getting 100%. Guess that doesn't count unless you have Chaos showing up here. Doesn't show up in the thing. I mean, it definitely did like save because I had the whole clear file and everything. Ah, well. No, not here. I should just equip up the Iron Golem Soul once again to really get that working for me. In fact, I will. I'm still annoyed that the Skula Soul was not just one of your standard souls, your ability souls that you got. They can do that. They can just do that. They did that with the Kicker Skeleton, which I think was the only thing in existence that that gave you the only regular enemy that gave you an ability soul. Oh, but everybody else, every other one of the very nice abilities that could have been that, they decide not to. Of course, like I said, there are some parts of the game that I think are undeniably kind of clunkily done. The way that Legion requires you to basically know that you had to defeat it in a specific way to get its soul, which is not explained to you in the game anywhere. They got like the ancient books to make it at least a little bit nice to figure out how you get the true ending or whatever, but Legion. Now, well, let's take a look around here. Like I said, what you got to do is you got to get to one of the areas that leads kind of out into the void, and that's where your 100% completion thing should lie, as far as I know. Which there should be one right over here, if I'm not mistaken. No, it didn't do it. Well, straight up, I don't know then. I'll try one more area, but it's like... Alright, so here's the thing. What you're supposed to get for getting 100% completion of the souls is the Chaos Ring. And that just kind of like appears on the outside here, and it basically makes it so you have infinite mana. But I don't know. I've gotten it before. Here, like straight up, let me see if I can just well, I switched back to one of my save files from 2011, and straight up, I don't know how you unlock this ring. So let's get to the souls instead. Alright, so first off, Killer Mantle. Like, literally super gimmicky. I guess it can defeat, like, some of the more difficult final guards, black guards, F rank. F rank because it's just bad. It is just a bad item, and it's just for fighting a single thing. Who cares? Legion. Way too annoying to get. Sure, it looks cool, but you can also get knocked out of the animation before you use it most of the time. So, also F rank. And I hate that thing. Giant Skeleton, I get from that from the Giant Skeleton that you see here in Chaos, or in that one big hallway area above the arena. It's okay. I'll give it a C. C rank. Let's take a look. Dryad? Dryad throws a very, very tiny projectile that will soak some health from enemies. Who cares, F rank? And now, Winged Skeleton, first thing you get in the game. The arc makes it a little bit easier to hit some enemies. I'm gonna give it a B rank. I think this thing is actually kinda good. Like, all things considered, given what, it does. Bat, attacks using supersonic waves. Good lord, F rank. What do I even need to say about that? Throws bones. I'll give it a C for being an important part of the series. There are better souls that you can use. Absolutely. Merman fires a water pistol. You saw this in the first episode. It's bad. F rank. Axe armor. This is a classic type of Castlevania thing. I'll give it a C rank. It doesn't do that much damage, but it's okay. Skull Archer. Slow. Slow. Does not even do all that much damage. F rank. Then, Killer Fish. F rank. I know it does attack in water. Who cares? Blue Crow. D rank. Maybe there's some usage for it. I can't figure out what it could possibly be. Throws hand grenades. I mean, like, the damage isn't bad. I'll give it a C. That's it. C rank. That's the best I'm gonna do. Ghost? This does actually chase around enemies and deal a decent amount of damage, especially for the point in time that you get in the game. I'll give it a C rank. And then, Axe Armor. Siren? Let's go and use it on an enemy, I suppose? I don't know. This might be something not entirely terrible. Still disappointed I couldn't just get the Chaos Ring, so I wouldn't have to worry about MP anymore, but does not work on every enemy, apparently. You know what? For that, you get D rank. Maybe there's some sort of usable situation for that. I could not possibly tell you. So, Tiny Devil. Blade Vortex also homes in on enemies pretty good. I'm going to give this one a B rank. Yeah, I think that's a fair for the ability that does. Boring, D rank. Rock Armor. Boring, slightly improved version of like throws hand grenade, D rank. Student Witch, S tier, no question. You throw out a cat. And it actually does do pretty good damage, but it is a little bit of a mana hog, but that's what everything is. Arachne, F rank. You saw my opinions on that earlier. And I think I am perfectly justified doing that. Ops around madly. I like its look. I like its kind of light blue robe. I'll give it a C. C rank. Even though I don't think that's going to be very useful at just about any point in time. F rank. So, that leaves us with Waiter Skeleton. So the thing behind this is that you throw out a plate of curry, and the plate of curry is so hot that it damages enemies, and also like the killer doll enemies get attracted to the curry. S rank. Absolutely. Altair. This enemy appears once in the entire game, right above the kicker skeleton in the fight against Julius. I guess I'll give it a... Oh, it is a bird. I suppose I should probably represent that. So, I mean, I represent a bird, so I guess I might as well give this an A rank. Whatever. It shoots out in a boring way, but what more are you going to ask for? Mudman. F rank. Also, the way that it took so long to get and then just showed up anyway. Double F rank. That's what you get. That's pretty cool. I'll give it an A. Even though I know that... Look, during the times that petrification is actually useful, it's good. But aside from that, Magical Fountain of Fire. I'll give it a B. That can probably be useful in some circumstances, but not most of them. Razor-like Feathers. You'll get a B rank because, again, bird stuff. That's the best I'm gonna do. If you don't like it, really? D rank, absolutely. I guess kind of like the Allura Une type of abilities, but no. I kind of like it. A rank. I never actually used the Needle's ability before, but that's kind of cool. Yeah, sure. I think this is a Gradius reference, so I'm actually going to give this one an A rank. Because I like the style, and I like... Or maybe like more of a Parodius reference, but still, it's like, that's... Yeah, sure, I can get down with that. That's not the worst thing I've seen so far. Ukabak. Sort of similar to Needles, but doesn't have the cool, like, explosions. I'll give it a B rank because it seems like it might be useful in some circumstances, just not most. Shoots fireballs. So basically just a worse version of the Flame Demon. F rank. Look, only one thing's getting the double F, and that's just because Mudman was so annoying to get in the first place. Disc Armor? We've seen Disc Armor before. I'm going to give this a solid B. I think it does good damage, and it does good range around it. It hits above and below it, which is not something you can say about every single one of the souls. Oh, A rank. I'm not going to give that an S, but I do like its style. That's a good one. That's a good one. Slime. F. Well, it bounces D. It does bounce. I kind of like that, but it's not enough to, like... Oh, I already did the Dryad. Ripper? Who cares, F rank? No question on that one. Like, I've seen... There are, like, 5 of those things. So they all get 5 Fs collectively because they're bad. Rare Jaguar. Oh, if it was an uppercut, if it was an uppercut, I'd give it an A. But because it's just a jab forward, I'm gonna give it a B. That's a cool ability though, and it's got like a full-on Hadoken. Yeah, all right. I'll give you some props. I'm not gonna like say I love it or anything though. What did I give the? Just add 2 ranks to whatever I gave the I guess that would be S tier then, compared to what I gave the werewolf. Doesn't even use that much mana. Yeah, that's maybe I should have been using that one a little bit more, I suppose. This character you only find near the Legion area. Very annoying. Mandragora, you know, I really do like Mandragora. I'm gonna give that one an S rank. Just a good screen clearer, it makes farming up some of the more annoying enemies to kill very good. I like it. I like it. Throws wheels at enemies. Yeah, I'll give it a C. C rank. That's silly, but it's also like, when am I ever going to use that thing? Well, when did I ever use that thing? I had it for a while, certainly. Were-Tiger, Beam Skeleton, It's C. It's just kind of like a worse version of the... Just kind of a worse version of the other soul that I would use before a lot. The lightning puppet. Which, by the way, probably going to get an A rank. I'm just going to say that right now. Skull Millionaire. I like its look. I like the colors, of course, but... give it a C. I'm going to give that one a C. Not even gonna like try to argue about it or anything either. That's like that. Come on. It's okay. Why does Giant Skeleton keep appearing here? This is like one of the very late enemies you find. Oh, it's this thing. I'll give it a B for like a B for Bacula, which I because it's a Dracula ability. So yeah, and you know the V's and V's. They're pretty similar. Nothing to do with Scott Bakula, though. I mean, I don't know. Flame Demon, I'll see. Yeah, no. Okay. Another Dracula ability, but it's like, it's also one that forces you to use it in, like, the main plot line, so... Yeah. Lightning Doll, I'm gonna give an A. I think that like legitimately was a soul that I got a lot of usage out of in the main plot, and I think it is very much deserving of that. Whoa! S rank. Anyway, that's wow. I didn't, you know, when it said like it slashed an enemy, what was the exact description? Slashes enemies with its sword. That's way cooler than I thought it was going to be. Sure. You know what? You deserve that. Not too much more left to go here now, is there? Bomber armor. Sure, I'll give this a B. I'll give it a solid B. One singular solid B and nothing else. A B for Bomber. Red Minotaur S ranked. I love this thing, and I love using it throughout the entire game. It does so much damage to enemies in such a huge area that I think that I can't possibly go any lower than that. It was just that damn good. No, I already did that one. Legion? Nah, dude. I already saw... wait, no, I already ranked that one. It's bad. Packs a Deadly Punch. Too slow to use, too mana intensive. I'm gonna give it a B. It's cool, and it definitely will probably like be helpful with some of the more annoying enemies to fight. But you get it so late, it's just like, can I really say that, you know, I can give it any more than that? Sure, I like the look of it. I'll give it an A, even though I never actually am going to use it. That's why it's not gonna get an S. But like, you know, hey, you get like little references. That's fun. That's fun. Give it a C, I guess? For Seeing Eye. All right, sure. Killer Mantle, we already did that one. Temporary Invincibility, probably could have gotten a lot more usage out of this. I also like its whole style. I'll give it an A. Sure. I'll rank that one an A. Chrono Mage, like, so gimmicky. D. D rank. Blah. It's so gimmicky, and it's only really useful for fighting the skyfish. Who cares? Maybe I could have done more with it, but I think just having something that will actually do attacks maybe a little bit better. All right, Blue Souls. Ugh, I don't like that you have to use this. C. Black Panther, S rank, no question. You get it so late, but it's so useful. S rank, no question. Skyfish. I like its style. I like its style a lot. But I gotta say, it was so obnoxious to get, I'm only gonna give it a D. Transforms into a demon. Ugh, F rank. I hate the look of that thing. It's very bad. Curly. I love the look of this thing. Who doesn't want to be a gigantic lady with a million arms and a million slashing swords? That thing's amazing. S rank. Obviously, I'm just going to say right now, absolutely the same thing for the Manticore. If I can just find it right now. You transform into this cool giant demon. You don't quite slash enemies, but you do this cool, like, sliding around on the ground. I love it. This is great. So also S rank. What else? Flying armor, it's whatever, C rank. It's required as part of the whole game, and you have to keep it on most of the time just to move around. Black Panther, already did that one. Buer. I kind of like it. I'll give it a C. It's nothing that I would really use, especially because you have to have, like, bat or the bat or the other thing on most of the time. Flying armor on most of the time. Who cares? Pell's Bullet with a shield? Useful. I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B. I'm not going to go any farther than that. Same thing here. B. Could probably be useful. Didn't use it quite enough. Guards against enemy attacks. I'm going to actually give this one an A. That's like default total guarding, I think. Which, if I was going for like a no-hit run or anything, that would probably be super useful. But obviously never really happened too much. Great armor. I'm going to give like a B. Again, something that I like the idea of, but I never ended up actually using because it's so many buttons that you need to press down at once. If I was actually using a controller, probably would be a little bit more comfortable, but I didn't. D. Not as cool as a laser beam, and although, yeah, petrification is useful against the things that actually are weak to it, there's so few things that are actually weak to it. So, yeah. Radiates flames. I'm going to give this one a C. Useful, but I think like most of the red souls are going to get precedence over that. Radiates flame. F rank for JoJo reference. You get a J for JoJo, which somehow goes even below F. Anyway, punches enemies. This is dumb. I'll give it a B. J for JoJo. What can I say? That's what you get if you're a JoJo reference. That's all you get. Ugh, his shadow fights behind him. Yeah. B. This is also very silly. First boss in the game, too. I suppose I can give it that. This is gimmicky. Could be useful if you're like doing if you're trying to like set up some stuff with some weird dodges or whatever, or doing like the down strike on enemies. I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C. That's it. Absorb enemies. S rank. This thing's super silly. S for silly. Anyway, what else? Allura Une. I like this one. I'm gonna give her. I mean, you saw it a little bit. I guess basically I could just go fight something for 5 seconds. Here, Lubricant, get over here. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give this one an A rank. I think it's pretty good. Annoying to farm, because like I said, Allura Une only appears like twice in the entire game, so it's kind of obnoxious to get, but once you do, it does good, it does healing. No, we already did Devil. Devil's bad, Manticore and Curly good, Skyfish, whatever, Imp. Summonable abilities are cool, I'll give it a B rank. B for pretty cool. Alistor. Yeah, B for pretty cool. What can I say? That's kind of what like the summoning guys get. Death, it's D. When is this ever going to be useful? Even though it's kind of cool, because that's, you know, what the original Death did in the original Castlevania. It's fine. It ain't anything super good or whatever, but hey, it's something. And then I'm not even going to bother, like, equipping up a lot of these, because most of the passive stuff you don't actually get, like, any sort of visual indicator for. So, let's see, required as part of the story. I'm going to give this an A rank. I think that, you know, rewarding you for collecting stuff and giving you a pretty big health bonus, pretty great. Luck is obviously not that useful, C. S rank. MVP, baby. C, part of storyline. I don't even know how you even use this. Whatever, I'll give it a D. A rank. This is pretty useful and would be very good if I pair it up with the Panther, but, you know, hard to get. I never actually use this. How does this thing work? Don't you have to, like, you know... I'll give this one a question mark, which I suppose equates to a C. I never actually use, like, this parry thing. Up and B. That just seems to be, like, you know... that thing. I don't know. Yeah, we know. I'll give this one a B. Pretty good. Never really use it too much. This makes it so that you can eat, you know, like, spoiled milk or rotten meat. B. I guess it opens up a little bit more for consumable items. C. What does that really matter that much? I suppose unless you're buying the Soul Eater ring, but even then, it's like I don't know. C. 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 D, because what the hell even? F? Why would I ever use this? Like, look at how much my attack is lowered. F. D? Who cares? I'll give this one a B. I can easily see myself using that, even though I never ended up doing it in the game. D? F. 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 F, 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 D, F, 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 D, F, 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 D, F, and then I guess Gremlin F. There you go. And that's all the stuff in the game. I'm kind of disappointed that I wasn't able to show off the using like the final, getting the Chaos Ring for getting 100% of the souls, but I mean, yeah, what can I say? Just was not really a thing that was possible. So that's basically everything with Aria of Sorrow. So yeah, it's always nice coming back to the old Castlevania games, even though some of it I do think they improved a lot in the later games. Yep. Marched to his death 36 years ago. So that is confirming that indeed the zombie soldier is from the the assault on Dracula's castle of 1999. Well, anyway, yeah, it's always good to come back to Castlevania. I think they improved upon this same sort of like a type of gimmickry with the souls better later on. But it's like certainly it is still a pretty fun game to play. Sometimes. Certainly farming up some of these things were more annoying than others. Which one did this do? Oh yeah, F. Cotton? With regrets? Kind of ran out of room there, eh? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed Castlevania. I'm probably going to eventually end up returning to this series again at some point in time just because, well, hey, I play so much Dead Cells, and Dead Cells does have a lot of comparisons to this. But for right now, I do think that, yep, I feel good about ending off the series here. Just look through the rest of the various enemies that show up. Dead Warrior. It's like, I don't know how to use that thing. Deflect normal attacks. Yeah. Guess I couldn't really say. 3 different kinds of gold. Actually 4 with the flesh golem, which appeared in like 1 area in the entire game here. This one is transformed by the castle's magic. It's weird to think that like anything would even be in the castle that wasn't B666. That wouldn't even be part of Dracula's whole crew, but I guess it happens. Big golem. Just that one room where I fought that skyfish, and that's it. Hate this thing. You deserve your F. Slaughtering people. That's cute reference. The skeleton isn't even a part of the Mandragora. You have to wait until it pulls it out of the ground. It's for you to even, like, get a chance at the soul. I hate you. I hate you so much, you stupid skyfish. Sure, it does look pretty cool, but who cares? Kamen Rider reference, of course. Like the idea of all of the were enemies fighting each other. Mudman. Hate you, Mudman. Just an improved version of the first boss, which is still... I mean, it's just annoying because it has so much health. But that's about it. It's cute. Gimmicks. Definitely got an awful lot of enemies in the game. Well, they are all pretty cool, and they all do look pretty great. I think this thing is actually... Balor is supposed to be a reference to, like, Norse mythology, but I do not remember enough to tell you exactly what the deal is. Like, his whole ability to shoot out laser beams is, like, a thing he actually did in mythology, but I don't know. All right, that's everything in Aria of Sorrow. See you next time for more Hollow Knight.